Well, my name is Angie Fernandez, and I'm in 8th grade. This right here is my reading level, like how much I grew over the year. So at first, at the beginning, I think it was October, I was at an end, which is like 3 years in 3rd grade, and I'm an 8th grader. That's horrible. But then I grew over the years, like a lot, like literally 2 years. And now I'm at a V, and that's like 6 years in 5th grade. And then my teacher, she literally made a goal for me, which was to get 3 years in 5th grade, and I passed that goal already. And with writing, I think I'm at like an 8th grade because I used to hate writing. Last year, barely wrote a paragraph each chapter. So like I wrote all this, and now I have an A. Last year, I used to have F's and D's, and now I only have A's and B's. And my teacher's so proud of me, and like I'm about to cry because I'm leaving her, and she impacted my life so much, and like I really love her.
You just heard from my former student, Angie. Angie, once an underperforming student who did not excel in nor enjoy school, prepared to enter her ninth grade year, reading and writing on grade level, and made several years' worth of growth in just 2 years in my classroom. To what do I boil down Angie's accomplishments and my own as an instructor? The power of information. The power of knowing where you are, where you're going, and what you need to do to get there. Academic gains are the ultimate door opener. They are the foundation of a truly transformational teacher. Students must, above all, make dramatic levels of academic growth that is measurable and rigorous. Families must know the level of rigor necessary for college and career readiness in the 21st century. As a teacher, I wore many hats: counselor, confidant, mentor, and cheerleader, among many others. However, the most crucial role is often understated because it is so obvious: teacher. Teaching academic content and skills and equipping my students to succeed in the professional future of their choice became my most imperative charge as an instructor. Academic gains are the ultimate door opener, and I could not truly transform my students' lives without ensuring they made dramatic academic growth in reading and writing. These skills would be instrumental in allowing my students to get on a pathway to college and career readiness. So, what is the power of information exactly? It is knowing exactly where you are and what you need to do to get to where you want to go. Most of us know this as being goal oriented. In my time teaching over the past 5 years, I have seen that such a simple thing is often lacking from my students' lives. Some knew vaguely what they wanted in the future: success, good grades, money, but had no idea how close or far they were from these broad concepts. Others saw no connection whatsoever between what they did day in and day out in the classroom and what they someday hoped to do. Far too many, however, simply did not know. They did not know that they were reading and writing several years below grade level. They did not know that statistic after statistic shows that students reading below grade level by the 3rd grade are much less likely to graduate high school and make it to a post-secondary education. They simply did not know what they were up against, and so they had no reason to operate with the level of urgency it would require to right these wrongs that our public education system and institutionalized racism had put them up against. It is my deepest belief that after 5 years in the classroom, it is an injustice to keep our kids misinformed or altogether uninformed when it comes to their own futures. The knowledge gaps that I encountered in my first year of teaching were frightening, and I vowed that if nothing else, my students would have all of the information they needed to make the right choices on their own. What I found was that when faced with all of the pertinent information, they often did, in fact, make the right choices, behaviorally, academically, and socially. As such, my students must be truly introduced to the injustice that has been done onto them by the public education system that they are a part of. It is unfair for them to operate under the assumption that everything around them is working for their benefit, when in fact they are not likely to succeed if they remain on their current path. This information is not easy to deliver, and the conversations that follow are never easy to have. But all of this needs to happen if our students are going to truly internalize the power of now and be well equipped to operate in a system where forces are constantly at play to stop them from the success that they desire. To allow all students to harness the power of information, every teacher must present students with information regarding where they stand at all times in terms of their academic successes and setbacks, and maintain an honest and constant flow of information. They must teach students what it could mean for them to be at a school in remedial reading classes if they don't work together to beat the odds. It's not fair to ask them to beat odds that they're not even aware of. Share their experiences, and when possible, let students get to know any odds that you yourself were up against, if such exist. For instance, I, as an immigrant growing up in Miami and going off to college ill equipped, wanted my students to know what opportunities could be eliminated for them if going into high school unprepared. You must begin each year with a clear lesson that ties your goals to the next steps in their lives. They should know before leaving your class what to expect out in the world, and therefore be well equipped to decide accordingly. You must use trackers or any other data sharing mechanisms with fidelity, so students know at all times how they're progressing academically. In my own classroom, all of my students' growth and reading level was tracked based on the Fountain's Pinnell Running Record Reading Assessment over the course of 10 months and tracked by consistent progress monitoring. The data was shared with students by means of student data trackers, which they completed after each round of progress monitoring. Data trackers were also used to demonstrate growth in writing. The data collected and shared with them included daily writing samples selected each month to track on-demand extended responses to literature, as well as longer published essays written as culminating or summative unit assessments. Finally, quantitative data also tracked success in standardized exams in the state of Florida. These exams are a tremendous gatekeeper on the path to success. Student data was always collected, analyzed, used for instructional remediation, and most importantly, shared with each and every student in a timely fashion. And that's the power of information. The samples you will see on the screen follow students like Angie who came to my class in 7th grade and remained with me for their 8th grade year. In this time, students made tremendous dramatic gains in their literacy skills and are thus better prepared for college and career of their choice. The daily writing samples show a continuum for what students from 2013 until 2015 could do in terms of their on-demand response to literature writing abilities. The essay samples show a continuum from the beginning of 2014 to 2015 until the very end of the school year. These samples show the academic gains that students made, and it's clear to see how they're better prepared for the future as a result of the power of information they gained from my literacy classroom. Ultimately, all of us will wear many hats, and each one will have a lasting impact in the lives of our students. However, it is my belief that the most enduring impact will ultimately come from our instruction. We must continue to push the rigor of our work and always work to hone our craft. We must live out the traits that we want to build in our students by working alongside them to grow as instructors as they grow as scholars and people. But most of all, we must commit to letting our students harness the power of information, to work relentlessly toward their goals, to tracking, analyzing, and reflecting on the data we collect, to sharing it with all stakeholders in a meaningful way. Most importantly, to sharing it with students and using it to show them what is possible when we are relentless in the pursuit of our goals and dreams.